Travis, how you doing, man?
Hey, Bill, man. Good to see you. How have you been?
Yeah, everything's been good. Busy, but
Good.
that's always a good thing.
It beats the alternative. I think I say that a lot, but it does.
Yep, it does. So, Travis, we've been talking a lot about existing agencies when you and I talk, and what the reason would be behind them looking at agency partnerships.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's a great topic. I actually put something out on LinkedIn the other day where I was sharing a story for a conversation I had with an existing agency. It's a lot of, I don't know, misconceptions the right word, but a lot of times we find existing agencies, they think of partnerships in silos, and they're not really looking at the total picture in regards to, what all it can bring to the table for them. And so I think it's a good topic for us to tackle today to just, go over, hey, there's a lot to this that could help an existing agency go to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I know we put together a couple points just through conversation over
Yeah.
the phone. Like, hey, here's a few things that maybe we want to talk about, bring up, just have some dialogue, get people thinking a little bit. So, what's your big point? You think?
One, I think everybody starts with access to markets, right? I think that's kind of their first foray into a partnership is, hey, it's a chance to get access to more markets. Um, I personally feel like you got to dig a little deeper than that because sometimes that access to markets isn't like I think most agents think of that as I need another market.
Yeah,
I'm
so let me
yeah.
step in there. Yeah, so I think that's certainly one of the points. We talk about
Yeah.
access to markets, and with
Yeah.
existing agencies, you know, a lot of times they don't need more markets. They might, and if they do, it's not like a startup agency where they feel like they need
Right.
everybody. So I do think we look at that in a couple different sections. But I mean, I think that is a still a key point why an existing agency would want to look at somebody like us or agency partnerships for access to markets.
Yeah, and kind of where when I look at it, right, hey, an existing agency. It's much more of a selective access, but there's other pieces to that access, such as warm introductions to companies. I mean, let's just think about cold calling, right? If you're able to sit there and get a leg up in a conversation and have somebody introduce you to a carrier, it helps move that conversation and ultimately that appointment a little bit faster,
Yeah, I think
if
that's
that
a big
makes
deal.
sense.
I mean,
Yeah,
we talk about relationships all the time. It goes back to, we've got good relationships. If we can put somebody in front of an existing agency with our relationship,
hmm
it just helps, like you said.
I think it helps. I think the other side to that, Bill, is, I mean, let's be honest. There's some carriers out there that they look at individual agency size sometimes in regards to who they are and aren't going to partner with. And, sometimes a partnership with us gets them access to carriers that might not necessarily partner with them otherwise because of their size, right? So we say bigger relationships. And I guess that can be one of those pieces there is, getting access to companies that traditionally partner with bigger agencies.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
And then I'd say another piece is, and it kind of goes hand in hand. We talk about more money and helping agencies generate more income. I mean, our job at the end of the day is to drive dollars to a partner's bottom line. And once our members get in and truly understand the compensation model and how we generate income for them, they look at consolidation opportunities. So they might not necessarily come to the table going, "Hey, I need markets." It really might start more of as a financial play. But then once they start to see that revenue roll in, they look at those opportunities to consolidate other business with us as partners to generate more income.
Yeah, and I think that's a key point. I think the income piece is massive for these agencies. We've talked about it in the past. The
Yeah.
residual income that agencies get is great. And that's perfect. And we want to continue doing that. And these existing agencies are always going to get that income. And
Yes.
then now we're adding extra layers of income onto them that they probably didn't even know existed.
Yes. Great point.
So
Great point
I
there.
think once they see those things, I guess that will circle back to what you said. Once they see those different ways to get more income, their eyes kind of get opened up and like, okay, well, now how do I make more of that income? I want a
Exactly.
bigger piece of that. And it does help. our partner carriers and our relationships with our partner carriers get in front of these agents more, build that better relationship like we always talk about, and then the money flows hopefully even more for them.
Yeah, and no, I think I see that a lot with existing agencies that partner with us. It's, a lot of times, to your point, it's a money play to start with, and then they get in, they get used to it, and they go, "Hey, how do I get more of this pie?" Right? And so we are able to help with access to markets when, they might not, it might not be a need as far as addressing other or addressing needs in or addressing business opportunities, right? It's more of a strategic initiative within the agency to grow the bottom line, to then make investments in the business to keep growing, whether that's hiring and staffing, technology, marketing, whatever it might be. And then we're there to, or partnerships there to help with those things as well along the way.
Yep. So one thing I would think about too is just with some of the talent and the resources that we
Yeah.
have, and not just what we have, maybe some of our other partners when we get to our partnership meetings and things like that, is just the consultative services that partnerships provide, especially us, as well as just that peer to peer relationship to bounce those ideas off of someone.
Yeah, I mean, we like to say all the time, "Hey, you're your own business. You make decisions." But having someone to talk through things with is a great asset, right? Because, if we've seen something, we're the first to raise our hand and tell a member, "Hey, we've seen this. It's worked or it hasn't worked." And being able to know that before you go into it is a vital piece of information for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a key part that I think some people don't realize is there either. It's kind of
Yeah.
like that other side of the compensation. They may not know about it, or they may loosely know about something. I do think the consultative bouncing ideas of nature is something important to all business owners, not just you know independent insurance agents.
Well, and listen, I mean, just to give some examples, within this past week, I personally have helped make an introduction for one of our members to hire somebody and fill a position in their agency. And then we also have another member that's going through the process of selling their agency, retiring from the business, and they're selling their agency to another partner. And that partner is acquiring, a good quality book of business that's actually helping them open up a new appointment opportunity to keep growing their agency,
Yeah, good
right? So
points.
those are two examples within the last week that we've worked on and helped members kind of guide through different processes.
Yeah, I look, and I do think one of the items I'd like to circle back to is with all these resources. I think
Hmm.
ultimately the way I look at it as well is this helps this agency help their clients and potentially get more clients to what you're saying there too. Because all of a sudden now, if they've got new ideas, if they got more money, they've got the ability to go maybe hire some additional people that they need. They've
Yeah.
got some more money to go invest in some technology to help
Yeah.
these people. So, I do look at it when it circles back to the root of the business as well, and that's insuring people and insuring clients. I do think what we have to offer and what partnerships have to offer helps them with their clients.
Yeah, yeah, it helps them with their clients, and then it helps their staff help more clients, right? Because, I think one of the things that I see in agencies, especially that typical independent agent, they've done something and that's how they've done it forever. And they go out, they make that investment, and they ultimately can potentially handcuff that staff member by not being able to give them access to all the tools they need to have success. And I think that's a huge piece to our partnership and our ability to help our members and their staff ultimately have success and matriculate in their careers.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. And I think we hit on a bunch of points and maybe bounced all over the place here for a little bit. But I
Yeah,
mean, there are some major points that I think agencies should think about here.
I don't disagree, right? Go through the process, do your due diligence. Don't just assume that you have what you need already, or assume what's a partnership does, right? Peel that onion back and learn and see what the right fit is for you.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the world's changing. It's, to your point, you can't keep doing what you've always done. I think, and if you do keep doing what you've always done, that's fine, but you still should research to see what else is out there to see if there is better ways to help your clients, to help your business.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, Bill, Matt Masiello has a video about our compensation online. And in the video, he talks about how, you can't run an agency just off of commission anymore. And he kind of touches on a lot of these points. And I think that's a great example of how the world's evolved and how the agency operations have changed over the years, and where, partnerships like ourselves are able to step in and really help these agencies continue to your point, take care of their clients.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered this topic good. I do think one thing we might want to do, Bill, is come back and talk about, we've talked about money here, come back later and sort of dig into how our compensation structure works on a later episode.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds good, man.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, have yourself a good rest of the day, okay?
All right. Thanks. You too. Thanks for tuning in. You can catch our Build Your Legacy Insurance Edition podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, or send us over a topic recommendation at podcast@siaofnc.com. If you're interested in learning more about what we do, visit us online at www.siaofnc.com. We hope you enjoyed our newest episode. See you next week.